Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the energies for March 2021 for life path number 8. This, of course, is a general reading. If you're interested in a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So 8, this is your month. We have an 8 universal cycle this month. And so for some of you, you may not really notice an increase in influence with this energy because it basically is your energy. For some of you, you may notice an increase in intensity when it comes to the themes of this month because it's sort of adding on to an energy that you're already aware of and that you're already working with. So just pay attention to how it comes in for you. But like I said, it could feel more intense, or you might not even notice it because that's how you move through the world anyway. So this month, with this 8 universal cycle, there's this energy around or influence of business, power, responsibility, money and resources, as well as karma. So this is going to be a cycle where what you choose to sow, you will ultimately reap. So that's why it's going to be really, really important during this cycle and for you all as 8s to be very aware of where and what you choose to invest your time, your energy, and your resources into. Make sure that you feel some sort of alignment to whatever it is that you're choosing to commit to. That's going to be really, really key. If you're choosing to commit to something long-term that you're doing solely out of obligation or from influence or manipulation from an external source, that is generally not going to be sustainable. There needs to be some kind of call from your inner knowing, from your soul, from that compass that's leading you here to commit to whatever this is. So I would just say be aware of what it is that you're choosing to invest your time and energy into and what you are choosing to commit yourself to. Okay, so this is a great time for any kind of business venture, including looking for, obtaining work, starting a new business, selling a business, anything along those lines, acquiring a business. Anything that has to do with business. So this is a great cycle for that. Any kind of launches or anything like that would be supported during this time as well. So 8 energy rules the material plane. So this can be a time of recognition, rewards, additional sales, as well as added responsibility and pressure. So with the sales, one thing to keep in mind is this is going to be let's put it this way, the environment is rich for additional sales or selling something that you've been trying to sell. So if you're trying to sell a business, trying to sell land, trying to sell a home or car, anything material, this is a great time to do that, where you should get some kind of offer that's going to be fair, okay? That's going to meet your needs, basically. If you work in sales, this is a great time to see a spike in sales. So anything, again, any kind of business related things, this is a great time for that. And then again, seeing the rewards and the recognition for efforts put forth, okay? Generally, it's not something that just falls in your lap. It's something that you've had to choose to put the effort into or the investment into. And then you'll see the rewards for that. And this is a great energy for that. When I talk about an added responsibility and pressure, what I mean by that is, with recognition, with getting a promotion or something like that. So anything that's sort of adding responsibility or that we are leveling up in a way to use our expertise in a new way, there comes just, it's just part of the territory where additional responsibilities and pressure, follow along with that. And so what I would say to that is to be mindful that you have in place ways to be able to manage that additional responsibility and pressure so that you don't become burnt out, so that you don't become overworked, right? And again, because this is, 8 energy and this is your life path number, you may see that sort of surface throughout your lifetime where you invest in things or say yes to things that add that additional responsibility or that pressure, or it's you're putting that pressure on yourself. And so again, you just need to make sure that you are also doing the things and exploring ways to sort of mitigate that energy so that you can release that pressure. And yes, you need to step up to your responsibilities, but you also you have the responsibility of self-care and self-nurturing. And so it's really important. Again, I think what I'm trying to say is this is going to be a time where balancing that divine feminine and divine energy from within is going to be crucial, okay, for your own sanity, for your own health. So this 8 cycle can be a time of doors opening and people in power helping if you ask. You may also be the one in power who has an opportunity to help someone who comes to you. And so if that opportunity arises, then if you feel capable to do so, then do so graciously. This can be a time, if you believe in karma, this can be a time of karmic debts coming due or for those debts to be paid off. So new relationships may enter your life at this time where the two of you have past karma to be cleared. If a debt has been paid, you may see that materialize within the physical in some way, such as an inheritance or a legacy of some kind. So pay attention to that, whatever comes in for you. This can be a great cycle for reclaiming your own power back from those who have taken your power in some way through manipulation or control of some sort, or where you have given your power away, such as with addictions. This is a wonderful, wonderful cycle for reclaiming that which is energetically yours and releasing the stories which were never yours to carry in the first place, okay? So I pulled a card to see, an animal spirit card to see what the overall energy was for 8s in March, and you all got squirrel spirit. And squirrel's message is believe in yourself. And what's interesting is the image on the card is like this squirrel who's very, very busy. He's got a lot going on. He's got his hands in a lot of pots. It feels almost a little frantic, but he's very calm and centered and methodical in how he's managing that stress, managing that chaos. And so I think that really the message that I'm getting for this is believe in yourself, believe in your capabilities of being able to manage and work around or work through whatever comes in for you at this time, okay? So yes, there needs to be a level of confidence. Yes, there needs to be a level of expertise, but there also needs to be this belief in yourself that you can find a way to work through any hurdles, obstacles, self-defeating thoughts, anything that comes up for you at this time that is standing in the way of your movement forward, okay? So looking at the month of March, I broke it down into 4 weeks. And the first week we have this energy of again, like this need to focus. So think of this squirrel who could embody that frantic energy of the chaos that's surrounding him and with all of these things going on. But instead he's choosing to focus his energy on staying centered and making sure that, again, that he's in control of the current situation enough to where it's not controlling him. So I feel like this first week, it might be easy for you to get overwhelmed by all of the opportunities, all of the decisions that need to be made, all of the things that are left undone, okay? That you become overwhelmed by it, and it gets to the point you're so overwhelmed that you just do nothing. And so you're just sort of sitting there as there's all this chaos kind of going around you. And really when I say chaos, what I mean is like a lot of unfinished business, a lot of unfinished things. And so the call is really to rein that in and shift your focus, but become laser focused, right? So it's kind of like, yes, pause to collect yourself and come up with a plan, okay? Like how you want to tackle whatever this is. Because I do feel like the answer is there, but it can't get to you through the chaos. So it's kind of like, again, stand in your own power of being able to be in control of the situation as opposed of the situation being in control of you. So you might have like a million different ideas going on at this time that you want to tackle, and you might want to see those instant results, but you feel scattered because you can't focus your energy on what needs to be focused on, or maybe you don't even know what needs to be focused on. The way to really get control of that is to pause, collect yourself, collect your thoughts, and find your center and decide. You get to decide what it is. Again, remember, what you sow at this time is ultimately what you're going to reap and harvest. So this is going to be a time where you really want to take stock of those seeds before you put in the effort of putting them in the ground to nurture them and help them to grow and then ultimately harvest them. This is going to be that time where you're taking stock of the seeds and you're choosing which seeds you want to move forward with. Okay. And so, in doing that from a space of, again, not necessarily obligation or strictly obligation or outside influence or manipulation, but through your own calling, through your own soul's calling of your intuition, your inner knowing, the inner compass. And then once you've decided what seeds it is that you want to grow, then the information will, the resources, the people, the information will come to you. Okay, so it's kind of like the first week of March, if things feel chaotic, just remember the squirrel. Remember how calm and collected he is, knowing he needs to gather all of these nuts and seeds for the winter harvest before the winter comes. And that can feel huge. That can feel overwhelming, I'm assuming, right, for a squirrel. But he does so, he knows the drill and he knows how to maneuver through it. And so that's kind of the energy I'm feeling for this first week of March for you all. It's like a lot could be coming in for you at this time, and you could be easily overwhelmed if you allow yourself to be. But if you can focus that energy, find your center, and really focus on what seeds it is that, what seeds you actually want to plant, then you'll feel much more prepared to move forward in a healthy way. Okay. Then we move into the second week of March, and we have relationships coming up at this time, and there's really this energy around like relationships that need to be healed, relationships where there needs to be some level of forgiveness. And really what's coming in, because this is an 8 cycle, is finding a way to, even if it's energetically, and oftentimes it needs to be energetically because being in a physical, being physically there with that person might not be the healthiest choice. So I am getting this feeling of like healing a relationship. But again, if it's something where it's like, and reclaiming your power, that's where I was headed, to reclaim your power, because this is an 8 cycle and it has so much to do with reclaiming that power from those that have taken it from you or who you have unwillingly given it to. And so, or willingly giving it to. And so there's this call at this time to take a closer look at those relationships that are still holding you back. So it could be a parent, an in-law, a relative. It could be an actual, previous partner, something like that. Someone who has either intentionally or unintentionally taken your power from you. So done something to manipulate or control you in some way. This is going to be a time where, so you're looking at the situation to see, am I still bound to this person energetically because I'm not willing to release what they've done? I'm not willing to forgive and move on, not being okay with it, but, not like condoning it, but finding your own freedom through the process, right? Like not allowing that, the energy of what happened to continue to hold you stuck, to keep you bound. So there's going to be, I believe, some relationships that might be highlighted for you at this time where it's asking you to do the energetic work, to do the healing process, whether that person is still in your life or not, whether they're alive or not, doesn't matter. It's that energetic hold, because this is going to be those relationships where it's a lot of the energy work are going to be those relationships where something happened to you in the past, it's no longer happening, but you're carrying that with you. You're continuing to have those chains bound to you, right? And so this is going to be a time to do some kind of energy healing, some kind of energy work around releasing that person and setting yourself free, right? It has nothing really anymore to do with the other person. They're on their own journey. They will face their own, situations that in their own lessons. It's more about you and what you can do to heal that past experience so that it's no longer, you're not carrying it with you any longer, because it ultimately is no longer serving you. And if anything, it may be even harming you. So this is going to be a time, I believe, where you're going to see those relationships come up that really need to be healed and released. And for some of you, if it's somebody who you still interact with and they're still a big part of your life, this is going to be a time where communication is going to be crucial. So having those open, that open dialogue with that person, letting them know, how you feel about the situation, how you felt about the situation, what needs to be sort of hashed out, and then allowing them to do the same thing for you and being very open to listening and understanding and moving from there. But ultimately, I'm just seeing relationships coming up really, really strongly, and this energy around healing that relationship in some way, even if it's only energetically. And I say only, but it's actually very, very powerful. You can do a lot of healing and a lot of make a lot of progress with energy work. So however that comes in for you. All right, moving into the third week of March. It's interesting because I'm seeing like this opportunity for you to take your wisdom from your past experiences and really putting that into motion. So it's kind of like, you've had these hurdles that you've overcome, you've extracted wisdom from those experiences, and now you're able to, you have a vision of how you want to put that wisdom in action. So pay attention to the ideas, the dreams that you have, the visions, the daydreams that you have at this time, because it's unlocking a door for you. We go back to that, what I said earlier about doors being unlocked that you didn't know could be unlocked. It's kind of like that. There's like something coming in at this time that will unlock a door for you that you didn't think would ever be opened. And you will see those resources come in. You will see those opportunities come in to be able to put that wisdom in action. This may very well be a time where you need to ask a favor or assistance from somebody who maybe you feel a little intimidated by, or you feel like unworthy of asking for their assistance or their help. And so you need to swallow that pride or swallow that fear, sort of, or work through it, right? But don't let it stand in the way of reaching out to that person, because that person has what you need. And so this is an energy, a cycle where they're more apt to see that and say yes to assisting you in some way. So ultimately, it's like you are the magician in this situation, but you are not an island. And so you may need to ask for assistance from somebody who has been there, done that, or has the resources that you need. And sometimes we need to sort of humble ourselves a little bit to be able to do that, or we need to understand that in life we need to collaborate. There's times that we need to collaborate with others in order to level up, to get to where we're trying to go, to reach our highest potential. And so I feel like this could be a time for you, eights, where you need to swallow that pill and reach out to that person and just see what happens. You ultimately don't have control over what they do or what they say, but you do have control over the action that you take. And I feel like this is a time where, again, like you have the seed and they have the water. So it's kind of like, in order to let your vision grow or your seed grow, you need that water. And so you need to ask for it. And this is going to be potentially a time where they will willingly do that, and you'll see sort of the resources fall into place. So again, it's going back to that squirrel spirit of believing in yourself, believing that you are just as capable of doing this as somebody else, and taking the effort to step into that. Okay, and then we move into the last week of March, and this is beautiful energy. This is really positive. Like, basically what's really coming in is like this energy of peace, of fulfillment, of gratification. It's almost like the squirrel when he has, tried his hardest and worked so hard to collect all those, as many nuts as possible for the winter, for his little hibernation before the winter comes. And it's now time to hibernate, or whatever squirrels do. And he feels this sense of gratitude. He feels this sense of gratification. And so I'm really getting this sense for you all. It's kind of like you've sort of done the work, you've put in the effort, and it's like you have this moment of like peace and fulfillment where it's like you feel very gratified for the efforts that you've put in, for the seeds that you've chosen to sow, okay? And ultimately harvest in the future. So it's almost this energy of like you feeling really good about yourself, your circumstances, the effort that you've put in, the investments that you've made. And I would say, and you also feel very supported at this time. This feels like a very supportive energy. It's almost like all of a sudden you see how all of your past efforts have gotten you here. And you can see the potential of what you're stepping into, and it feels very, very positive. Okay. So I would say embrace this, enjoy this energy. This feels really, really beautiful and positive. And it's also like patting yourself on the back to be like, man, I did this. I created this. I brought myself here, right? Like you had help along the way, but ultimately you had to make the decisions that got you here. So just like the squirrel had to decide to get up every morning and go out and collect that food, that nourishment, there's gratification in seeing something come to fruition that you've put so much energy and effort into. And I feel like you're on the cusp of that. Like, I feel like you're seeing that now, and you're seeing how this is all going to play out, or at least the next few steps. And there's a lot of gratification and joy in that, and peace. So allow yourself to be like embraced by the peace of this moment. And yeah, just really enjoy it, because you all, I know as 8s, you all have earned this. So, beautiful month for you all, very powerful as usual, but this is like I said, this is your energy. I feel like with it being an 8 cycle, it's just going to fuel you even more to continue to really step into your own 8 energy and take the reins and take that power back, and not be intimidated or fearful of asking for help from people in powerful places, because, you are just as powerful. It might look a little bit different, but you are just as powerful. So I hope it's a wonderful March for you all. Thank you all for listening. Take care. I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.